as a junior intel officer in some of these entities. Our CIA, for as bad as some of them were with the Spygate stuff, these guys are pretty good at getting information. They pay for it, like anyone else. A lot of these people who pretend to be freedom fighters for the cause, if you know what I mean, are really just a bunch of demons who will take $1 for anything. Oh, the real savages are savages. They can't be bought. Make no mistake. But some of them are just fakes and will take $1 for anything. There is no way we didn't know. You remember this story in Tablet Mag? Oh, October 1st. Today is what? October 9th or something? Just a few days ago. I strongly encourage you to read this in the newsletter from our friend Lee Smith. High-level Iranian spy ring busted in Washington. Oh, really? An Iranian envoy for us by the name of Robert Malley is now suspended because, as the article alleges, he helped to fund, support, and direct an Iranian intelligence operation designed to influence the United States and allied governments, according to a trove of purloined Iranian government emails. Oh, shit, look at that. Intelligence failure. How many more of these people are in our government? Oh, look, another one? More from the Lee Smith article. They showed that Robert Malley helped to infiltrate an Iranian agent of influence named Aryan Tabatabai into some of the most sensitive positions in the U.S. government. First is the State Department and now the Pentagon, where she's been serving as the Chief of Staff for the Assistant Secretary of Defense for Special Operations, Christopher Meyer. Oh, Special Operations, like our SEALs guys who are probably all compromised. Aryan Tabatai. Intelligence failure or intelligence infiltration? Tell me. This is why we're going to talk about this right now. Ladies and gentlemen, we may have so much information compromised right now, it may take years to recover from this. Here, I want you to listen to this. So here's Robert Malley, suspected of being the subject of an Iranian influence operation deep into our State Department. I want you to listen to Robert Malley talk about the Hamas savages. I want you to listen to every bit of this, how he tries to justify their existence. This is the guy who's supposed to be on our team against the demons, justifying the demons and their causes and all the bullshit they tell people. This is Robert Malley, influence operations, suspected guy in our government. Take a look.
Most prominent for the Sadrs in Iraq also fall in that category. It's a mistake to only think of them in terms of their terrorist violence dimension. Their social political movements, probably the most rooted movements in their respective societies. Hamas, not a majority among Palestinians by any means, but very deeply rooted. It's been, it was born in the first Palestinian Intifada in the 1980s. It has deep loyalty. It has a charity organization, a social branch. It's not something you can defeat militarily either, and people need to understand that. There's so much misinformation about them. I mean, I speak to them, my colleagues speak to them. Now, we may disagree with them, but they have their own rationality. That's one thing to understand. None of them are crazies. They may do things that we consider to belong to a different realm of rationality, but within their own system, it's often very logical. If Hamas is not allowed to govern, if we squeeze them, and you may have good reason for doing that, but if you do that, we'll tell you what the reaction will be. Rockets. No doubt. And consolidation of Hamas's power in Gaza. Both things have happened.
Sorry about that. Sound wasn't meant to be in there. It's our fault. I hope you heard that, though. So basically, terrorists are going to attack you, and don't respond and defend yourself against the demons, because then they'll attack you with more rockets. I got it. That's supposed to be our guy, by the way. And by the way, do you think it was a big coincidence that the Iranians waited for the $6 billion to be released to Qatar? You think it's a big coincidence that the attack happened after that? I spent the whole weekend trying to explain to Iranian and terrorist sympathizers how money works. When you give $6 billion to the country. I don't care where it came from. It was there, but it doesn't matter. They didn't have custody of it, and we gave them custody of it through the Qataris. Did the liberal dipshits not understand how money works? When you give them custody of $6 billion and it's $6 billion they didn't have, then the $6 billion they might have spent on, say, food and humanitarian bullshit, that they're not doing that anyway, they're now going to take and spend on terrorism because they know they've got custody of the other $6 billion. The hell else? I spent the whole weekend explaining how fungible money works to morons. If Tony wants to go rob a bank and needs $5,000 to do it, has $5,000 in the bank, but has to pay his $5,000 rent a month, and I tell him, don't worry, Tony, use the $5,000 to rob the bank. I'll cover your rent a month later. That's the fungibility of money.